Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. Long overdue heavy rotations video. Last week I didn't do one. I was gonna try to have like heavy rotations Grail edition, but I'm still waiting on a couple to come in the mail. So that will probably be my next video, looking at maybe like Thursday or Friday posting that one. But it's just been a crazy string of albums that I've been able to get my hands on lately that are just mega tip top of my want list type stuff. So be looking forward to that. I'm really excited to show you guys that stuff. So that'll be coming. And then I teased a few videos ago about there was a guy that pulled up at the shop with a truck full of records, and I will tell you that story at the end of this video. So don't let me forget. Remind me if I get off track. So we're just going to get into what I've been listening to. That's what Heavy Rotation is all about. So first thing I've been listening to, this is old. I know that I'm behind on this. This came out in 2020, but this is the Pink Floyd Delicate Sound of Thunder. Whew. 3 LP release of this. They remaster 9 extra songs. But really great sounding release. Some great stuff on here. I love Pink Floyd. Obviously, I talk about them all the time, but just listening to this, I listened to this a few times this week, and I had a few copies in the shop. I think I've sold them all. But just listening to it, I'm just reminded of how incredible Pink Floyd's melodies are. They just that's what really makes a great band, that sets them apart. You know, like the Beatles, those melodies is what really did it for them. Great melodies. Trying to see. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a few that I was going to put in my Grail video, because I know that there's a lot of records that are going to be in that video that I'm going to want to talk a lot about. I chose to pick a few out to put in this video because I just know they're not up to snuff to be in a Grail video, but they're pretty close. This is one crazy coincidence, but I have been wanting one of these for a while. This is a Grateful Dead American Beauty white label promo. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. This is my favorite Grateful Dead album. This is an absolute masterpiece, if you ask me. But I have seen a lot of them that have, for some reason, I've seen a couple. Well, not a lot of them. I've seen a couple that have the strip, but they don't have the green label, or they don't have the white label. They have a green label. And I've seen some that have the white label, but they don't have the strip. But I've never seen one that has the strip and the white label. Maybe it's just a fluke, but in my years of collecting, I've not run across one. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying they obviously do exist because there's one right here in my hand. But I saw this one pop up on eBay. I got it for a really good price compared to what they normally go for. Great deal on it, and it's a white label promo. And it's like the cover, has some ringwear, but it's the vinyl's pretty clean on it. You guys know I collect promos. This is a heavy hitter promo for me. To be one of my favorite albums, I like to have the promo. It's just a sweet one. So right after that one popped up, this popped up, and this is the kind of time you got to be right place at the right time for this. But this is a Grateful Dead, their first album, self-titled white label promo. These didn't come with strips or anything that I know of. I've never seen one with a strip, but it's a mono white label promo. Someone posted this bad boy on eBay. Buy it now for $20. And I nearly made brownies downstairs because I couldn't click buy it now fast enough. And it's really clean. I don't know why they must have not thought much of it being a promo. I mean, they had it listed as a promo. I don't know. $20, I'll take it. So that's a really killer find as well. Next one is this is a cool one called Together. I'd heard about this record. Just type of thing, private press stuff comes around here and there. This is one that doesn't pop up too much. So I've been kind of looking for one. This is folk psych type stuff. There's 2 different types of labels that this comes on, not labels, but covers. There's a cover that has like a real psychedelic looking, but this one is just like a little bit more rare. They have this just the stamped together. Just really good private press acid folk stuff. There's not many of these. They did not make many of these. I don't have an exact number. I'm not sure, but they just not many exist, and especially with the stamp on the cover. I am speculating here because there's not much information online about it, but I think that the stamped ones were like the first of the first, and they probably went to the band. And this one, I believe, belonged to the family of the guitar player, because the guitar player's name is Steve Harris, and there's a name written on the back. It says Channing Harris. So I don't know. That's just my speculation. But just kind of cool if it is. If it's not, whatever. But the guy, Steve Harris, he wrote the all the information on the inside and signed it, and play guitar. This is a really cool record. I'm glad to have it, and it just kind of adds a little bit of cool factor to it that it probably, maybe, potentially belonged to somebody who was in the band. Doesn't really matter, but in my brain, that's what I think. So it's cool to me. This is another one I was going to put in the Grail video. This is Gravy Train. This is definitely up there, okay? This is the U.S. pressing on Polydor. This is originally on Vertigo. If this was the Vertigo press, it would be going in the Grail video. That one's mega. I would love to have that. But the Gravy Train stuff, it's all on Vertigo. Really good. It fits in with the Vertigo, stereotype of it being just this hard and heavy killer blues-based hard rock from the early 70s. And that's what Gravy Train is. This is a really, really, really killer album, self-titled. I have their second one, an original press of that as well. But anyways, really cool band. This one's in the shrink with the price sticker on it and everything. Couldn't resist getting that one. So those are I was going to put in the Grail video, but I decided to pull them out. So I'm just going to go through these rapid fire, just random stuff I've been listening to. The other day, this came in the shop. Somebody brought in a bunch of like freaking Perry Como and Humperdinck, Flinklebinkle, and all these guys. The Nat King Cole and stuff that's just the big band or easy listening stuff that just doesn't go for much. And I get people 7 days a week, old grandpa in their car, pull up with a box of records, and it's just a whole bunch of that stuff. And they've been hanging on to it for a million years, thinking it's worth a ton of money. And it's just like, it's hard to say, but there's not a lot of people looking for this stuff. So within all that, there was this. And I was like, what? This is Nadra Leo. Really cool Brazilian musician. She sings like, to get super technical with you, it's like post bossa nova, MPB, which MPB is like what they call in Brazil, like Brazilian pop. So it's like post bossa nova stuff with like influences of samba and stuff like that. So all that to say, 1964, really beautiful Brazilian, like very angelic female vocals, just really cool, really grooving, bossa nova, samba type of, just really cool stuff. So I saw this and I was like, oh man, because her records are kind of tough to find, especially on here. What the heck? This original 1964 Brazilian press in this collection of like total garbage. And it was like, what? How did this come from Brazil? It was in a sleeve when I got it. This is the sleeve I got it in. And it was in like perfect shape. I'm like, how is this in all that stuff? So it's kind of excited to get it. But this is just one of those you put on and it is so smooth. Like if you got a dinner party over and you want to seem sophisticated, but not like a square, you don't want to put on something like Mozart or something. That's going to be stiff and it's not going to loosen people up. This is something that will make you look sophisticated, while you, impress people with your musical prowess. Anyways, I'm just being silly, but really cool record. Was really glad to see it. And there's the type of thing. What's really cool with going through all these records constantly is the funnest part of it is running across something that shouldn't be there. You're like, what the heck is this doing here? You know, I just love that feeling. But this is another one I've been looking for a long time. ESG. I don't know what pressing this is. It's on 99 Records. This is the label. But basically, this band ESG, I think they started 1978-ish. I think this came out in 81. But this is their EP, like a funk band, I guess you'd say, but like with some electronic elements in it. There's a track on here called UFO. That's the one you're gonna want to hear. It's just got this killer drum break on it. It's sampled by like everybody and their sister, but really, really cool album. It's iconic and just like a nice. I gotta be in the mood for it, but really cool, like electronic funk type stuff. But I don't think this is an original. I'm about positive it's not an original press. But they all come on these like 99 records labels. But there was a very limited first pressing, and then they did immediately another second pressing, and they just kept cranking out pressings of it. But this is a New York based band. They played a bunch of clubs and all that stuff. So really, really cool stuff. I just been wanting that one. This is one, not a record I would recommend for anybody. I don't even know if I'm going to continue to own this, but I thought I would show it because it's just so dang weird. This is Timothy Leary. It's called This Time Around You Can Be Anyone. Turn on, tune in, and drop out, folks. This is the Acid King, the doctor of LSD, Timothy Leary. This album is basically something, you know, they say like about Pink Floyd and all these bands, like, oh, you got to listen to drugs to really enjoy it, which is not true. But I think you might have to be on drugs to enjoy this. It's like, that's the purpose of it, I think. You know, that's the gatefold. I have it. I got it. It's on Douglas Records, which, like, if you get something on Douglas Records and you don't know what it is, it's basically you're rolling the dice. It could be killer blues, it could be spoken word, it could be funk, it could be anything. But this is a lot of spoken word and weird, trippy music. It's just my type of thing. I love that freaking weird stuff. And Timothy Leary, it's just kind of for psychedelic stuff, it's iconic. So this record came out last week. It's Julian Baker's new record. I love Julian Baker. Her first album is absolutely incredible. Sprained Ankle. Amazing. Her second album I didn't sink my teeth into quite as much. This one is, I'm going to have to spend some more time with it. It's got some more outside elements. What I really liked about the first record is it was so raw, you know. Really, really cool record. The songwriting was really great on it, but it was just such a raw record with very little production. I mean, well, I won't say little production. I mean, there was, but there wasn't a whole lot of extra strings and instruments and samples and stuff like that. There wasn't a whole lot of that. It was just really straightforward, honest, raw. I liked it. This one is not bad at all. I mean, I put it on. I enjoyed it the whole time, but it didn't stick with me like that one did. So I'm going to listen to it a couple more times, see if it's something I want to keep. But that's just something I'll kind of listen to a little bit. It's female singer-songwriter type stuff if you're not into that. This is one that came out. It's Vinyl Me Please release. This is Firstborn by Idea and Abilities. I had never heard of this record. The cover looks really cool, and it's hip-hop. So I just like took a swing on it and got it because it was Vinyl Me Please has been really generous and nice with me, and they have been so nice to let me pick a release every month to listen to and talk about on my channel. So shout out to them for that. But this is a release that I always pick something that I think is going to be like, I try to pick something I don't know, or something that I've heard of, but I just don't, you know, I'd never heard of this. This is like from late 90s, 97, 98, something like that. And just kind of, I really like this. Really get hip hop, all sorts of elements and instrumentation and stuff. If you like, just like a lot of the newer hip hop now that's coming out, Not all of it, but a lot of it, I have a really hard time getting into. I have a really hard time. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just too old, but I just don't get it. So this is something I can really sink my teeth into. It's got more elements than just somebody mumble rapping. Like the lyrics are really dynamic. They're really good. And the instrumentation is really good too. So I really enjoy this record. As always, really well done packaging and mastering and all that stuff. Really cool. This is another one. I messed up, guys. I messed up a little bit. It happens to everyone. Here, let this be a learning opportunity, and maybe if I tell you enough, I'll learn and I won't do it again. So this is The Adventures of Robert Savage. Look at that cover. This dude's slaying that dragon like it's his job. This is a really cool record. I've been wanting it for a while. I was on eBay. That's a common theme here. I've deleted my eBay app. It's gotten me in too much trouble. I shouldn't be on there. It's irresponsible. But I was on there and this popped up and I was like, ooh, because I have like a saved thing for it. I've been wanting it really bad. And it occasionally, like, it didn't pop up. I was looking for it. I saw it and it had like 40 seconds to go. And the price was really low on it. And I just went for it, you know. I didn't check the condition. I can't remember why, but it wasn't misleading. It was my fault. I was being negligent. But the record itself's not terrible. It's not great. It's like a VG plus. It's not bad. The record's not bad, which that's my main concern is the record. But the cover looked like some kindergartner took it to school and all of his friends practiced writing their names on it. I didn't see from the thumbnail. I saw the ELP, and I wasn't like, if it's just one thing, I'm not too worried about it. But if you get close up, like people like really had to go at this thing. So I still got it for like half of what it normally goes for, so I'm not worried. But you know, I do try to keep tip-top stuff in the collection, so I'll probably get an upgrade copy of that at some point. But at any point, this Robert Savage is really good, like hard rock, but I mean, the cover really captures like what it's like. It's hard rock. It's kind of crazy. Some fuzzy guitar solos. Right up my alley. Really cool stuff. That's a great record. Glad to have it, even if it does look like, you know, Junior took it to school with him and had his way with it. Elementary Doc Watson. With Doc Watson accompanied by Merle Watson. Doc and Merle did a lot of stuff together. This is just like really cool, raw. Sounded like somebody recorded it on their front porch playing some bluegrass. I don't keep all the Doc Watson stuff I get, but I do keep the ones that I listen to and really, really enjoy. Doc Watson's incredible. Like, he was super influential. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but super influential in like the whole Americana scene. Even though like he was primarily bluegrass, he's just such a really incredible pioneer of like bluegrass and Americana type stuff. So really cool record. I love Doc Watson. He's amazing. But that's like across the board. Everybody loves Doc Watson. This one's a really cool one. Arden House coming back. 1977, I want to say. I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure. But this is a prog album. A little weird. But it's not, I wouldn't say this is a great album. This is an expensive album, and I got it for really cheap, so I was happy to get it. But it's got some really cool synth stuff in it, but it's not something that you're going to need to go out and find. It's just kind of cool, and I got it for cheap, so I grabbed it. So that's a cool one. This is a really neat record. This is a Nolan Porter. It's just called Nolan. This is an album, if you saw it, you would probably want to buy it. It looks cool. This is a soul funk record. Very weird record. When you put this on, you're expecting to hear some, like, you know, soulful singing, which there is. His voice is just really different. There's a lot more vibrato in his voice than most soul singers. There's some tracks that sound real bluesy, some tracks that sound like borderline reggae, but really good, like, funk soul album, I would call it, I guess. But I didn't know this, so I'm not going to pretend to know this, but I was reading about it. And Keep On Keeping On There's a guitar riff in there that Joy Division used, which I wouldn't have connected it because it sounds so different, but it is the same riff. Anyways, he does a really good cover of Crazy Love by Van Morrison. But it's a really cool record. If you see it for cheap, grab it. They usually go for about $40, but I mean, after you hear the same type of sound over and over again, when you find something like this, it's just a little bit off the beaten path. It's a little different. It's a really cool departure from that like pretty common stuff. Not that common stuff is bad. It's just when you hear enough of it, sometimes it's cool to find something like that. It's just a little different take. This is another album. Gosh, man, I love this album. I think I've showed it before. This is Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. I think I've showed another one. I had another one like probably 4 or 5 videos back. That one I had was in like decent shape, but it had like some messed up stuff on the cover. It's a top copy. Really, really nice. And I got it for pretty cheap. So I grabbed it. This is such a good record. If you like the Stooges, there's different things that Iggy did that was good. And there's some things that he did that was... This is really good, solid stuff. He did some stuff with, like, all that early stuff I really, really like. The Idiot, this, I love. But this is like, it's just so good. There's so much Iggy on it. It's more in the Stooges vein, but it's like, throw a little more David Bowie in there, you know what I mean? Another one, I just picked this up this week and listened to it again. Long story behind this. I'm looking at my video time and it's going up, but who cares? Y'all are in for the long haul. I found this record probably 15 years ago. No clue what it was. Gosh, I don't know if I want to tell this whole story. I will. You guys like stories, right? If you don't, just skip forward. We're all adults here. When I was a kid, like kindergarten, first grade, I had ADHD. Probably still do. Who knows? But I had a lot of trouble focusing in class and not making fart noises and stuff. But I couldn't read worth a crap because I didn't care. I just didn't care about it. I wanted to learn about what I wanted to learn about. And that's still how I am today. But I just like had trouble sinking my teeth into like learning how to read just because the type of person I am. I mean, you probably know this from seeing my videos. Like I get laser focused in on something and I find something I love and I let it destroy me. That's my life, you know? So, with like reading and like with math, I liked math and like practical math I was good at. But like first, second grade, like when I was getting to second grade, my mom's like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. You need to get better at reading. And she took me to the library and she's like, pick out any book in here and I'll buy it. And you can take all the time you want to read it. And I went and picked out the biggest freaking book. It was this Babe Ruth book. It was that thick. I could not read barely at all. Had a lot of trouble. I was way behind. And she's like, if I buy this for you, you got to read it. And I was like, okay, because I played Little League at the time. And I thought Babe Ruth was really cool. And I sat down and like taught myself how to reading that book. And I read it front to back and freaking loved it. And after that, I was like really, that was like a part of a series of biographies. Like one was like Abraham Lincoln and one was Davy Crockett. And there's a bunch, like 10 books in there. And I read them all. And then like she would bring me to the library and I would like get books about aliens and Bigfoot and stuff like that. And it totally, like that one book changed my life because I was able to realize how my brain was different than other people's brains. And that's not a bad thing. You know, my brain just works a little different. Everybody's does. And when you get in school, you know, they're like every kid has to learn the same way. And that's not really how we are. We're different. Our brains are different, you know. In life now, the way I am, I have a son who's 7 who has autism. And his brain's just, it's not the typical kid. He has a brain that is brilliant in a totally different way. And so it's my job as his dad to find out how I can like harness that energy and help him really succeed in life in that area and help him with the parts that he has struggles with. So anyways, all that to say, my brain was different when I was a kid. And this, like, not this album wasn't in the picture at the time, but Babe Ruth and Aliens helped me out of it. So when I found this album about 15 years ago, I saw that there was Babe Ruth and Aliens on it. And I was like, this has to be awesome. And it was. Really good prog album, really spacey, really far out. Good stuff, man. Really solid album. You can get this for, on average, $20. Sometimes it's 25, sometimes 15. But that's what you should be paying for that album. Really good one. Great stuff. Also, I was going to share with you a couple other things. Like, I don't know if you care, but digitally, I've been listening to like a lot of different stuff. But one thing, David Ramirez, I talked about him. This is his album, My Love is a Hurricane. This is my favorite album of 2020. Just incredible songwriter. This guy is amazing. Like, inspiring, just unbelievable. He's the type of person, every time I hear him, I want to pick up a guitar and write a song. He's incredible. But he just came out with an album called Backslider, and it's on iTunes. And most of you probably won't want to hear this, but for me, it was really cool. So David Ramirez has a history. Knowing his history, I had him on my podcast too. I have a podcast. I don't know if you guys know that. I kind of slowed down with it, but I interviewed him for my podcast last year when he came out with this album. And he was telling me, I already knew this, but he was telling me that he started out like playing music in church, which a lot of us did, especially in the South. Like I grew up, my dad's a pastor, you guys know that, but my dad's a pastor, and I grew up playing music in church, and I grew up learning music on these old hymns. So like he did too. And so this whole album is about like how those hymns still have like a special place in his heart, even though faith is different to him now than it was then. He like recorded, it's beautiful. It's like 7 or 8 hymns. And it's just this, like if I was going to record an album like that, those are the exact ones I would choose. Like it's very, very good. And he like switches them up a little bit and does some really cool stuff with them. So if you're into that type of thing, if that sounds cool to you, it's called a Backslider, and it's on iTunes and all that stuff. But it's not on vinyl yet. I hope it is. But it's just a really cool, and listening to it, it really brought me back to, playing music in church when I was a kid and learning acoustic with all those songs. Like that was I really identified with that. Another thing is these books. So, my go-to reference book for psych stuff in the U.S. is this Endless Trip. This is that was the book. That was not my gas, y'all. But this is a really huge, thick mega book. Very limited run on these. Oh gosh, it's so heavy it almost knocked me over. But it's an incredible book. I can sit down and read it all day. It's got like ads. Like that's just like an ad for Grateful Dead. But it's got 3,000 reviews on American psych stuff. So I knew when I found this that this was like the go-to psych reference guide. But when I got it, I was like, crap, this is just US psych. What about my UK stuff? So I started looking and looking, and there's the counterpart to this. This is Galactic Ramble. This is the UK version with all UK stuff, and there's like really cool pictures and information and stuff like about this stuff that's not like, it's kind of hard to find on the internet. So great reference material for both of those. Highly recommended if you can find them. They're both out of print. They're both really tough to find, so good luck. This is the one I've been kind of looking for. This is a little bit lighter, and this is easy to find. This is like a $75 book normally. I got a good deal on it, but this is the Acid Archives. A really good book. I just got this. I've been looking for one for a decent price. I like to get a deal, you know me. But just a bunch of really cool write-ups on like acid folk and psychedelic and stuff. But really cool book. Cool texture to it. Not that that matters, but that's another one I just kind of, another reference guide I kind of wanted to get. So I got it. I got to tell you about the pickup truck full of records really quick. So this guy pulls up to my shop. This was like 3 or 4 weeks ago now. Pulls up to my shop with a truck full of records. Here's a picture of it. Freaking nuts. And this was at 6:55 p.m. We close at 7. And I'm like, yo, I got a wife and kids waiting on me at home. I don't have time for this crap. But he's like, I'll drop these off. You go through them. and call me and tell me what you think. Now, I did not have high hopes for this. It was ridiculous. This stuff looked like total garbage to me. But there's something inside me that's like, Dylan, do it. There could be a grail in there. It's a sickness. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I regretted it and cursed the day I was born. But he dropped them all off. It was about, he said it was 10,000 albums, which I knew right away it was not. Because if you've seen 10,000 albums, that ain't it. It was about 2,500, maybe 3,000 tops. He wanted $2,000 for them all. And I told him, I was like, before you unload these, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that's not happening. Because this is like, most of this stuff is junk unless there's something crazy in there. He's like, I need to get rid of them before Friday. Like, let's just do it. And you just tell me what you think. And I'm like, okay. And I go through everything. And it was rough. Real bad. Like, worst I've ever seen. I didn't want them. Like, you get to that point where, like, if he were to give them to me, I didn't want them. So there was a stack of like 100 records that I thought were like worth something. And the rest of them were absolute total, throw them in the dumpster garbage. Like scratched up, water damage, like just turds. And so he called and he's like, well, I'm going to come back and get them. And he's like, I'll give you, you know, a few records for your trouble. So I got a few like really cool private press records that aren't worth much, but they're just weird, cool records in there. So I picked out like 5 or 6 records out of there that he said I could have for my trouble. Spent freaking like 3 hours going through everything. So it was a real pain in the butt. So that's what happened. The moral of the story is trust your gut. My gut said do it. And I got 5 free records. Was it worth it? Yep. I won't have to sit and wonder at night, hey, I wonder if I missed anything in that collection. There might have been a grail in there. No, I know. It was total garbage. And I got like 5 or 6 free records out of it. You know, would I have rather not and spent those 3 hours doing something else? Maybe. It's okay. But anyways, that's the story. It's not a great story, but it is a story. So thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. Follow us on Instagram. You know all the deal. And we'll see you next time.